Warmachine Tactics has a new expansion. Is it worth your time? Let's review the DLC, Dark Seduction.
Media glitch!
Hello and welcome to Media Glitch. I'm your host for this segment, Miranda. With me on the couch I have got... Hey, Dylan.
Hey.
This is Dylan. He's also helping me with this review today.
Dylan!
We've got...
Volleyballs.
If I haven't mentioned already, thank you, Joel, for making that awkward. We review the good, the bad, the glitchy, so do make sure that you are subscribing. Follow us on YouTube. You can also follow us on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/MediaGlitch. So today we are going to review a game that actually came out back in November of 2014. So it's an older game, but they just came out with a new DLC expansion. Now, I'm a fan of the game Warmachine, which is a tabletop steampunk fantasy game. And a few years ago, they kickstarted an actual full-on turn-based strategy game. So today, I'm going to go over the actual DLC that they came out with in December called Dark Seduction. So let me just go ahead and introduce that now. Dark Seduction takes place as a separate single-player campaign to the first one. It goes over the stories of Denegra and Haley, which are two characters from the game Warmachine. They're twin sisters, highly magical in nature, and at a really young age, they're separated. One of them is taken by the evil Crix force, and the other is left with the Signarin force, and they both grow up to be warcasters. Obviously, you can see here the resemblance.
Obviously.
Seems very, very clear.
And I know.
And so you sort of follow their dramatic story. I mean, you can you learn about it when you play Warmachine, if you read back into the lore, but the story here, it's a good idea. You know,
Yeah.
You can kind of learn more about the lore. So it has some good things going for it, so let's go over the good. They have cleaned up a lot of UI issues. They've streamlined things. Now, I will say that they ended up making the UI very tiny. As they probably overcorrected in a way. You can see that little deal in the center there is all of your controls.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that is really tiny.
Yeah. Now, they've given you a lot more tooltips and things to confirm before maybe going in and taking free strikes or damage.
Okay, that's good.
They've helped with a lot of the frustrating elements. You know, you can move up, you can see what your shots are going to be before you commit to an action. The graphics have always been a huge strength for Warmachine Tactics. Beautiful, beautiful graphics. The jacks, you can see them fighting there.
Oh, they're awesome. They're so cool.
No, and they've really done a lot with temporal barrier, and you can see she's got arcane shield on the Lancer there, which is that really pretty blue shield. Here's your Warcaster Haley, who's one of the main features of the story. Beautiful graphics there. Your allocation is a little bit smoother. Your ability to kind of target individuals, again, putting Arcane Shield on a unit there, has been streamlined. So they've done some really good things there, which I was happy to see. I know one of the problems with the initial rollout was there were a lot of glitches, there were a lot of bugs and crashes. They haven't quite escaped that just yet, but they keep refining it, so I appreciate that.
How many more missions does it add?
I'm actually not sure. Okay. I got stuck at mission 6, and I'll talk about that in a bit. So we've kind of seen the good. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the bad. And again, it's all subject to change. Mission roles aren't exactly super clear. For this particular mission, you're playing Denegra, the twin. You're supposed to come up and try and capture Haley's soul. There is exactly one way to do that, and if you do it any other way, you fail. You're literally just supposed to walk up to her and hit her with your staff. If you succeed in killing her, you fail, and if you hit her with magic, it doesn't succeed either. There's some awkwardness in being able to make use of your arc nodes or target the way you think you should be able to target. And one of the worst elements that has really driven me nuts, and this is mission 6 you're seeing here, is the AI. So for some of the missions, you have like an escort level mission where you're supposed to save NPCs.
Those are the worst.
Those NPCs just run headlong into the enemy. If they're a shooting unit, they're going at it with the bayonet, just waiting to die. It was incredibly aggravating. And it's really annoying because you're wanting to save them, but you're watching them just sort of make these crazy decisions. There's still a lot of...
Deserve to die.
You do. All escort missions, you hate it.
Oh, man.
You're also kind of seeing the jarring camera angles here. So what you're watching here are the characters you're not even in control of playing, but it takes you through every single one of their movements. Well, yeah, you are responsible for them, but you're still also stuck waiting on all of them to activate. And so if there's like 10 extra guys on the field, you're waiting for every one of them to finish before you can take your turn. And so it's sort of slow and clunky that way, and it's been one of the problems that Warmachine Tactics has always had, is that clunky feel of moving each individual model. I've always wanted to have more unit-based movement where just everything can go and do its thing, but I mean, it's the style of the game. So that's what I consider to be the bad. And finally, we come to the glitchy. So Warmachine Tactics, while they have refined a lot, hasn't been exactly perfect. They still have, this weird feature where cutscenes will come in on triggers in the game, and that will cause your game to crash sometimes because it'll do the scene, then it comes back, and then it finishes your mission. You're seeing the scrolling there because it'll react to your mouse differently.
Now these missions are really long too, aren't they?
Some of the missions are really long. You can see some facing issues still exist there. It can be frustrating again when the mission objectives are not clear.
It feels like they should really like just put that somewhere for you to be able to see.
Well, the mission objectives are right up there. The
Just
problem with
how
this
to do them?
so like one of the missions is attempt to take Haley's soul. It doesn't say hit her with your stick, which is the actual mission objective. And so this mission here, mission 6, I got stuck on because the actual trigger for the final retinue of baddies never triggered. They never came out. And I'd been in the mission a good 40 minutes, securing the area. And then the final guys didn't come out. And I did that mission like 3 times. And on the third one, they came out, and that's when all my Signarian troops that I was trying to save just ran headlong into Warjacks. And
lovely.
it's
the best idea for a bunch of soldiers to run into a bunch of like murdering robots.
Murdering robots, yeah. Well, it's what I love about Warmachine, but and I only have so much sympathy because they're Signarians, and who really cares about the Swans? But for the story, it really should be. It should be less frustrating. You shouldn't be fighting the game as a part of the difficulty. And one of the things that I was seeing a lot in the reviews for the game is that it was incredibly difficult to get through Dark Seduction. And I haven't even finished it, and I'm kind of agreeing so far, at least where I got it to mission 6. The only reason it's difficult, though, is it's not because there's particular tactics being employed that you have to be more clever than. You have to try and be more clever than everything trying really hard to fail. So, you've got the AI where the Signarin guys you're trying to save are literally just running in trying to die. They try to make up for bad AI by giving overwhelming enemies, and so there's just an enormous number of troops that you'll be stuck cutting and chewing through. And you can do it, but it's slow, and it's not that exciting to do. It doesn't feel like a big adventure.
Right.
And then, like, some of the missions, don't really feel like they're very important to the story. Like leading up
just
to
some filler missions to
yeah
kind of just fill the space. But at least are they interesting, like in terms of like how you go about completing the mission?
I liked the idea of like again the mission objective. Denegra attempts to take Haley's soul. Yeah. And I'm like, there should have been more than one way maybe to succeed in that, or it should have been a much more clearly written objective. Go up and hit her with your stick. If that's literally going to be the only way you're going to win with it, then succeeding is not what you're supposed to do. I like where the story's going because, it's an interesting element of the Warmachine, of the Iron Kingdom's world in general. And so I'm glad they're doing it, and I would like to see them, incorporate more of that. I obviously want to see, like, Khador stories come in. So I want them to keep doing it. They just need to refine the process of the bad AI. Like, I would say if there was just one specific thing to go after, it's the AI.
Right.
I know some people were still complaining about bugs. They've actually really done a lot to clear up the bugs.
Awesome.
Some of the UI stuff, again, maybe along the bottom, if you expand
Sorry.
it out.
Bless you, Joel.
Joel's very excited. He sneezes when he hears about, I don't know.
Like
so
bug
hot.
fixes.
When bug fixes, there you go. So it's not necessarily like bad. It's just, it's frustrating and it needs refinement. It's $2.99 on Steam for the DLC, so it's not exactly breaking the bank. And if you enjoyed Warmachine Tactics, then it's worth like going into. And White Moon Dreams, you know, is the company that make it. They are very open to player feedback, so I know that they've been making changes as it goes on. So this review may even have some outdated parts, you know, by the time you see it. So it's worth the $3. It's just, it can be very frustrating until they fix the AI and the mission objectives.
Yeah.
That's my
For
my
$3,
take on it.
you know, if you're already playing Warmachine Tactics, absolutely.
Yeah.
It sounds like a great deal. So.
Yeah, and if you already own it, exactly. So that's my 2 cents on it. You know, if you are a Warmachine player, let me know in the comments and what your favorite faction is. It should be Khador. Otherwise, do you own Warmachine Tactics? Have you bought the DLC? Are you interested in it?
It clearly should be Minoth. I just need to correct the record. So
I will also be streaming that game on my Twitch stream, so you can check it out at twitch.tv/wargamergirl to watch me scream at my computer monitor. I think that's it. Have I convinced you to buy the game?
yeah, absolutely. I'll give it a go.
Excellent. Well, thank you, everybody.
Sold!
Sold.
Jeez!
This is easy.
Dang!
You're welcome, White Moon. All right, so anyway, that's my review. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Bye!